We are back here now to starting off my week, I should say, after a little bit of a 4-day weekend for me. But starting off my week, second day of your week, Jess, we are back. The making of a marketer, lots to talk about today, and we started this episode off. It's one of the ones with just us. Some quick updates on things we're seeing, trending around the marketing world. And we wanted to lean into a little bit of the holiday marketing that starts in July, but we also didn't know that we were going to have a marketing story from Coldplay and Company that was going to take over our entire worlds over the weekend. So I got a few places to bounce us around, Jess, and I'm pretty sure you knew that we were going to end up here on this episode, but I'm curious to see where we start and where it goes as we go on this 20-30 minute journey of an episode.
Yeah, apparently there's only one in the marketing world to talk about right now, and it is the Coldplay Kiss Cam.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say too, but I can't
Yes.
wait to hear your point of view on this.
So we'll get into like all the levels today. So I was on my Toronto theme park trip, which will be a portion of the episode today. Of course, holiday marketing, but even during the trip, I check to see what's going on Facebook, see what's going on Instagram, make our posts while we're doing the things. Every single thing was about the Coldplay Kiss Cam. Like, we learned about the backstory of these people. Andy Byron, former CEO now. We learned about his chief people officer, Kristen. And that's not creepy at all. It's Andy and Kristen, my wife's name. So that was a little bit of a wow. But yeah, we learned a lot about this. And I think that there's been a lot of companies having fun with it. There's been some social media police out there that don't want people to have fun with it. There's been companies that basically have come into the limelight because they went really hard on this topic. And then, of course, there's the whole Coldplay angle. I haven't listened to Coldplay, admittedly, in years. So, like, that they've gotten, their name out into the open. But maybe we'll start with, like, what are our big takeaways from it. So, one of the takeaways, and I think that we as marketers just always take different angles on these things than maybe what the public sees. So, like, my first initial thought is you and we talk about executive thought leadership, building your personal brand, getting out there, doing these different things. And what I try to think about when I talk to executives are we want to hear about what they're doing right, how they're helping their communities, how they're getting their name out there. But there's also a stigma and there's also detractors that come with thought leadership branding. And a lot of it comes from what people believe that executives are doing with their money and free time. So they have just been hit with the worst detractor of all because, unfortunately, Andy Byron, I don't think is what all of executives do. I don't think most actually are like this, to be fair. But he plays right into the stigma that a lot of them are surrounded with: money, women, cheating on their spouse, doing stupid things, and he falls right into it. Now it's an internet meme that I feel like tech CEOs, tech executives, they're going to be looked at, maybe not saying they're guilty or doing these things, but they have to get around this aura because that's how they're seen by the public.
Oh man, so many points on this. The one thing I will say about this ex CEO is don't don't then try to shame the public for
Yeah.
filming something that was in public. It's not like people, the influencers and people had their cameras outside of a home and were looking in. You were at a concert. You were in a public place. So you may think it was dark, but like that just like I was like, okay, enough with you. I mean, the first part of his statement was good because it really, when it comes down to it, the real victims, the real people that I feel sorry for are the spouses and the children. The children especially. I mean,
Yep.
this when something goes thermonuclear viral on social, like they're the
They're the ones
ones
that
that
take the
are really
brunt.
suffering. I mean, and
Yep.
she's the head of HR. She's at fault for sure
Yep.
as well. Like so, they are both at fault. I'm like, come on, don't play the, oh, this shouldn't have been filmed, or like, you're ruining people's lives. It's like, no, you ruined
It
the
actually
lives and
says
you
that
were in
on
a
the
social
ticket.
place.
So because I have marketed a concert before, it is burnt into the writing of the ticket. Now we all hit Ticketmaster, whatever, we just rage purchase or going to a show, but it is burnt into that ticket that your footage and likeness can be used while at the show. So there actually is like zero legal grounds they can take. Like if you're filmed doing something at a concert, you're filmed doing something at a concert, and that's it.
And I actually think that that probably happens at the theme park that you were at. I know
Mhm.
this happens at Disney as well, probably Universal. But yet you're right. It's like if you are signing over, like when you go in, they're like, we've got cameras everywhere. There are people that have their cameras, and more than likely, like you are going to be filmed in some
Yeah.
capacity. And it's like you're signing over your rights to an extent when you go into that type of public environment or setting.
And you
And
know what's crazy about it is you look at the whole thing and how it blew up and how Coldplay kind of called them out in the maneuver they did. If a lot of people pointed this out, it doesn't mean what they're doing is right, and maybe they still get caught by somebody in the audience, but it's more low key. If they would have just held position and not done anything and like smiled at the camera, this never would have been a thing because people only started circulating that video because of the reaction they had. You have the CEO running off, you have the people officer like ducking under the table, you have the girl next to her, which that story's gotten convoluted. Some people says that she works for them and she's like second in command of HR. The company's debunked that that's not who it is. Like LinkedIn's involved in this too, Jess. LinkedIn sleuths went looking up the girl on the left smiling, and they found that the second in command of HR looks a lot like that lady. However, people did zoom ins like on her like facial structure, and they're like, no, her teeth are different, and they're saying that she looks similar, but it's not the same person. So the internet sleuths have been all over LinkedIn trying to figure out who the people are in the footage, where they're ranked, how they got their jobs. So in a weird way, our company got involved. Not involved, but like the sleuths have involved our company in their research and trying to figure out what's going on here.
I think it also does show that, thought leadership is very important, right? It's very key. I will say the one thing that I absolutely loved, and this makes me love the internet. There's a few things that I love about the internet. Most, not a fan of. But over the weekend, seeing all of the baseball teams and
Yeah.
all of the athletic events where they were doing the Coldplay kiss cam, and then you had people like trying to get on the cam and like having that same
Reenact it.
reaction.
Yeah.
I loved that. I was like, okay, bravo internet. This
Yeah.
is what I love about the social component.
So let me ask you this, Jess. So beyond the baseball teams, a lot of companies just went all in with their own memes over the weekend. And people, I've seen a lot of social media managers going back and forth on this. They're arguing this doesn't even like involve their brand, it's off. And then, others, so I'm a little bit in between. So, like myself, you do a social media post. To me, and I'm probably going to have someone scream at me for saying this, but to me, a singular organic social media post does not need to be a heavily branded post that focuses on brand every single post. I think that a brand should have a brand voice that's loose enough to jump on trends, but sturdy enough to where they do stay on brand 8 out of 10 posts. So as a social media manager, if I do 10 organic posts, you give me the flexibility to jump on a trend at a free will, and you trust that I'm not going to blow our company up overnight because that gets engagement rolling. You can get hundreds, if not thousands, of followers by jumping on trends. I don't think it's a bad thing to jump in, but I think if you're a company that hasn't done it before, and this is like the one you jumped on where there's, really stiff implications with families happening here, that's where I'm like, okay, it needed to be a little bit embedded into your code before you jump on like this because there's some darkness to this here.
Right. It's like, where do you find the balance? Where is the line? Like when it involves infidelity, people are a little more skeptical. They're a little more hesitant. However, when this happened, or when a controversy happened, what, a few months ago with Katy Perry and the astronauts and the
Hmm.
flight, all that we were praising all the brands that jumped on
Yeah.
that and we're meeting the moment. So we talk about, like you said, meeting the moment, being culturally fluent, and yeah, brands took advantage of that. I do believe like the baseball theme, or whenever there's like if you're at a sporting event and there's a cam, that makes a little more sense to me.
Yeah.
So it is a little more random when a brand that is not connected jumps on. But I mean, like, who are we to judge that? Because we're the ones saying, like, you got to be there for those cultural moments.
Yeah. The other thing, we talk about it in some of the things we report. People ask what trends on LinkedIn, and you and I would be the first to say that memes do really well on the platform. So, if I'm a social media sitting there, I'm kind of like, okay, I take this picture, it's viral. I go to a meme generator and I put two captions over Andy and Kristen, and I overlay what our company's talking about. And, it's like, we love X and Y, and show that picture. It's exactly what we're telling people to do in a way, but I feel like the ethical codes that you have at your company, that's going to be individual to the company. I feel like if I'm going to take this a step further, we go into the corporate world here. You have to know what type of social media team and social media manager you're hiring, because I will say there's a lot of us that are the unhinged type, and they make companies millions, if not billions of dollars. They turn Duolingos into what Duolingos are because of their mastery. But what comes with it is they tend to jump on this, and they tend to kind of like eat people a little bit when they do posts. So I think it's kind of what type of talent are you hiring, and does it fit the brand you want to be on social? Stop trying to just look at a bunch of boxes and being like, hey, they have X amount of years experience and Y. Like, think about what voice do you want for your company, and that'll help kind of dictate if you jump on these or not.
I think this also came to a head as well as we keep talking about AI and the capabilities. Okay, I don't know the exact name here, Andy, but I saw this on YouTube and it blew my mind, and it came out this past weekend. So like this all came to a head. There is now functionality where you can take someone's image and generate a video off of a single image. And so you think about this and you think about this whole idea like building your brand, your employer brand, your thought leadership, but how easily now. And I'm not one of those sleuths. Like I know there's people out there that are like immediately that are like, yeah, that's fake, that's fake. I mean, sometimes I'm blown away by how real it can
Yeah.
be, but I saw this, and the chat bot or the AI robot, like whatever you're calling it, they were using ums and likes, like they were trying to mimic like real human speech, and I was blown away. But I thought, wow, if you can take an image and create a video of that person doing what you want them to do, and that's that's a little bit scary. That's something
Yeah.
that we need to consider when we're marketing and advertising, because now I'm really becoming skeptical of every message that I'm seeing out there.
What I think it's going to come down to, and we see the platforms doing this already, is there is a way they can detect if certain types of AI are used in the creative production. I think it's going to need to be important, if not mandated, that when video content is uploaded, that the platforms are putting some sort of notice on each of them saying that AI was used. And here's like the perfect world. I'm not an engineer. I'm not going to pretend I even know how to do this. But a perfect world, it says AI is used. You hover your mouse over the eye, like in the top right, and it says AI was used for video editing. AI was used for image production, like restructuring images in the video. Or it could be the other side of it. We use AI to like shorten our videos. So it could just say AI was used to shorten long form video, and that's like the only thing that it was used for. But some sort of disclaimer that a user can hover over and they know how AI was used in the editing. And if it was detected wrong by the platform, the company can then send in a ticket to have it corrected. And then it goes into, some sort of like approval process.
Right. And I think, and yes, I absolutely hope that happens. That will help for sure. But I think about these scenarios, and it's like if you've been building your presence, your thought leadership, especially on platforms like LinkedIn. Oh wow, I just did a plug, Andy,
Yeah.
for our platform. But if you're building a presence on social and you're aligned with your employer brand, your B2C brand, your B2B brand, and your values are all aligned, and you're sharing your point of view, when something like that comes out or potentially could happen where someone's creating a video of you, then again, you've got your whole portfolio, you've got your whole body of work that says, hey, look, that's not me. Like, look at all of my messaging. Like, this is the real me. And it's like we can kind of scope out, like, is this real? Is this fake? Easier if you're really putting your reps in, doing the work, building that presence. And now we just see how important that presence is.
I mean, what was the word last year of all marketing? People wanted authenticity. So I still think this is just me, and maybe I could be wrong in like 5 years, but I still believe no matter where the technology goes, I don't hear the consumer saying I want people in fake videos. I don't hear them saying I want to be friends with an AI influencer and like have an AI girlfriend. Like I've seen this stuff out there. I don't hear the consumers saying that at scale. Maybe there's offshoots of this happening, but I don't see it. In all the talks I've had with marketers, all the companies that I've worked with, I've seen we want AI to help us be more efficient on different tasks and continue to do the same tasks, but with more efficiency. I don't see like, hey, we want AI to, go and do thought leadership videos for us. Again, I could be wrong, but I'm just not seeing it personally right now.
Then it's almost like we've taken the toothpaste out and we can't put it back into the tube, because I'm
Yeah.
thinking, then do we now have the capacity to take an image and create a video of
Yeah.
that person from an image? Andy, I think for our next book club read, we should actually do the movie watch, and
Watch
let's watch
Terminator.
Her and
Oh,
break down
yeah.
Her, because then we can really, like, let's get to the deep meaning there. Let's really see, because that was when did that come out? Like early or mid 2000s,
Yeah.
and that seems to be on brand or on point to where we are now with this idea of AI like playing a greater part in
Yeah.
our ability to connect, humans connecting with one another.
That, or I was thinking like maybe we can like come up with a new movie concept and it's like Terminator 3000 or something like that. And you and I work to build a Terminator unit, and maybe they're like trying to right all the wrongs from social media and digital media. So the Terminator is going to go back in time and stop Tom from MySpace from creating MySpace, and and taking us down the path that, hey, that's where my brain always goes with the AI. They've tried this in the movies to stop the creation over and over and over again, but Skynet still somehow prevails.
Well, let's put it out to the community. Like, I would love to know too what our community thinks. If you want us to watch Her and do
Yes.
that for our next book club, let us know. If you want us to watch Terminator or any other movie, what do you think we should watch for the book club? Or are there books that we should be
Talk about
reading?
it.
And then we apply our marketing lens to those books. So definitely let us know what you want to do next. And like, I can't wait to jump in, because now I really just think
We need to
this is
learn.
all a great experiment, and it all so applies to marketing. It's
Yeah. It's
the
natural.
best.
Now let's close up because we do have a popular marketing topic that was the title of today's episode. I want to spend about 10 minutes on here, and that is holiday marketing, Jess. So I sent you the first picture I saw. The Halloween inflatables are showing up. My local grocery stores have the Halloween candy being put on the shelves. It is currently July 22nd. We've talked about this on the podcast for years now, about how somehow it keeps getting a little earlier. Spirit Halloween, I think, opens the first week of August. So we're revved up. It's Halloween shopping season now, Jess. And I know your thoughts on this, that it just doesn't scream Halloween season to you right now. So how are you feeling as you start to see your favorite stores start to change?
I just can't, Andy. I really can't. Nope. This is a hard nope. It's okay. It's even funny that you bring this up right now. Tyler and I were just having this conversation about, even though we brought back the Disney magic and the girls are going through their virus, which actually, in all fairness, could have been picked up at the airport. We don't know, but kids get things
Anywhere.
now these days. We're like, well, maybe because Disney wasn't crowded, this is the best time to go back. Maybe we should go back in August. And then I learned that Halloween in Disneyland starts on August 22nd.
There we go. You can go trick or treating.
And then Tyler and I were like, no, that's just too weird. Like, I don't know. It's too soon. Like, I think you're still gonna celebrate. You're still gonna buy if you start the advertising, you start the marketing in September? Like, I even think that is a long leeway. And then you've got the whole month of October to partake.
Make your
but
decision.
August, July, this is insanity.
Yep, it's still 100 degrees out in places, and go and buy your Halloween costumes. So I'm actually going to write an article about this on my personal page because I have some thoughts. I think, me personally, I would love to have done Halloween marketing in my career, but I can't say I've done a lot of it. I've done a decent amount of Black Friday, so that's always where my reference point is at. So what I started to find in agency life and Black Friday is that if I tried to get into the game, like right about 2 weeks before Black Friday or even a week of, there was so much inventory on these sites, and we would always think of, hey, we're like small, medium business. These are our competitors. And I was like, no, your competitors are whoever is on the internet. And for Black Friday, that's everybody. It's every marketing vertical. It's every company. It's everything you could ever think of. And as deep as your pockets might be, theirs are going to be deeper. So I was part of the problem with this. And I said, well, we need to just get out early then. I was like, we need to have Black month and a half instead of doing Black Friday. So I kept trying to move these companies to go earlier because I felt like if I could own the conversation before other companies were out there, that I would get them into an e-commerce retargeting funnel. Now, this is just purely digital ads. I don't know enough about foot traffic and how that works in places and why you should do Halloween inflatables on July 15th, but either way, like, I don't know like how that changes, but that was always my thought process, is that we play in this unfair game of marketing where if I could be really creative and I could get out there, maybe creativity could get me beyond that, maybe spending more and everybody could get me beyond, the fray. But if I have neither, what do I have at my arsenal? I have trying to just get out there before the competitors do, and maybe we'll start to build awareness so sales go up. So I always feel like that's partially what's happened here, is that the advertisers, the companies are just like, let's just get it all out there. And people can see it 48 times before they get to October 15th and then make their purchasing decision by then. That or like repulse people so they don't buy anything. But I don't know like which way it goes. That's usually what I think they're doing if I'm reading it the way I think I'm reading it.
The only thing that I can think of as well is if you're putting your inventory out early, I agree with you. There is something to being first to market, being ahead of all of the oncoming noise. But maybe if they were putting it out, if they had old inventory, which I would think that they're gonna, like, the goal is you got to sell out by Halloween for sure. But if they have old inventory and they're just trying to get it out early, like they're trying to just get rid of the old things that they couldn't sell. I mean, that's all, that's another thing that I could think of, but I don't think that is the case. But to me, that seems more logical. But
Yeah.
again, it just, if we keep pushing it, if we keep pushing it, and creating a longer runway, I feel like pretty soon every day is going to be Halloween. Every
Yeah.
day is going to be Christmas. Like you said, like you're saying, like Black Friday now turns into a month. Well, no, okay, it's going to be Black Friday every day if we keep going in this cycle.
And I blame marketing rooms for this a little bit because there's nothing, I don't know, scarier in your Halloween footprint or maybe like more ambitious or more creative than a desperate marketer. So like for me, like if I'm putting stuff out in e-commerce and I don't have faith that I can execute the week of, I'm like, we're gonna run this thousands of dollars campaign and I'm gonna just drop a zero, or I don't trust this creative like to just drop it on people and I think we could run all of it and get nothing. You put me in a desperate position, then I start doing things to like try to hit my KPIs, and I'm always thinking of it through the marketer's angle. They're trying to get stuff out there. They need to get a certain amount of sales. They need to have these short-term wins. We all just like everyone short-term wins. That's like the thing of the marketing community that we all try to fight. Then you start doing some crazy stuff like putting Halloween inflatables out the week after 4th of July. So, I try to see like why they're doing it, but I don't know. I feel like at some point, like anything, there's going to be some revolt against this stuff. And we've seen that actually happen with Black Friday too, because people didn't want to actually work on that day. So we've seen a lot of the retailers scale back all these crazy 24-hour things, and it's moved to more online, or they actually don't depend on that week anymore. They depend on like a month of sales, so they don't even really do a burst sale. And that was a lot because the consumer revolted a little bit on that. So I kind of wonder, does it start to get there? As of right now, I'm reading the numbers. They said in 2024, Halloween sales reached a record of $12.2 billion, exceeding 2023, which was $10.6 billion. So right now, they're going to keep trying to move it up until they make all of us hate it, and then that's when it'll start to change.
Well, you won't hate it if you celebrate or you take into the festivities in an appropriate amount of time. So what I do is I just try to block out the noise. If Penny wants to put on a Christmas movie right now, I say absolutely not. Go to a different Disney movie. You are not watching Christmas movies right now.
What about
Or
Christmas
Halloween
in
movies
July?
for that movie.
That used to be a thing, Christmas in July for a
It
while
is,
before
yes.
before Halloween in July started. Because as I was talking to Kristen about this the other day, it was kind of like this is all run together now. Like they used to
It is.
random places used to do Christmas stuff now, but if they're putting Halloween out the week after 4th of July, like how does that all work together?
You're taking the uniqueness away. You're taking the appreciation for the special day, like and it just becomes, like you said, it just becomes the new. It's normal. You're
Yeah.
normalizing.
Yeah.
How about we stop trying to normalize everything?
Yeah. Halloween in July. Now, but to be fair, I will say not every retailer is doing this. It's not like all across the board. There's just a handful, and I feel like the handful gets a little larger each year. But yeah, it's when I first saw it, I was like, okay, we have to talk about this. It was literally the week after 4th of July.
It is wild. I mean, did you see any Halloween decorations, anything at the theme park?
Not
Did you
yet.
did you see any kiss cam jokes at the theme park? Like, is the
No.
marketing coming together?
They didn't jump on it, so but I would imagine some theme parks probably are a little bit at some because they're a little goofy, a little wonky. Now, We are prepping because we like to do those weekend trips. We are doing a weekend trip. I think it's the first week of September. It's either the first or second week of September. We're going to do Busch Gardens, and their Halloween event is in full swing at that point. So just what you're talking about, haunted houses, fall drink festivals, everything. First, second week of September. They're all in already.
And this will be in the Busch Gardens in Orlando, or is there?
This is the Virginia one.
Oh, Virginia. Okay, okay. Because I was gonna say, like, if you're going to Busch Gardens in Orlando and you're just going to Busch Gardens, that would surprise me.
Yeah, yeah. You have to do a combination over there. Yeah. Now this will be the one over in Virginia. It's the European type one. So they got like the festivals of the different countries and the cobblestone roads, and it's all themed to different countries. It's kind of like Epcot-y, so it's a pretty cool experience. We have a good feeling they can execute Halloween well there.
I love it. That's really cool.
But overall, I know we're rounding it out. Theme parks went well again, Jess. Brand new big ride, Canada's Wonderland. They drew us in. Roller coaster was 10 out of 10. Was everything we wanted it to be. Probably one of the most extreme things we have ever been on. It was cool because it launches you out of a mountain, and then when it comes out of the mountain, they shoot fire out. So that has like a whole appearance to it to draw people in. So we had a great time.
Were there any inversions?
9. So it's a North American record with 9.
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, thanks for reconfirming. Okay. Yeah. Way too intense, but more power to you and Kristen, and happy anniversary.
Yes.
1 year married. You're in a new reality now. One of the best realities.
You say, do marriage years work like marketing years? So marketing years, one would be about 4.5 years of marketing experience. Does it work similar in married years?
I don't think so. But have you heard that there is apparently a 7-year itch?
No.
For married life. So it's like you got to think about changing up your routine at year 7. Year 7, yeah. And then I feel like there could be a 7-year itch too if you own a home as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, things to think about.
Well, I'll report back because that'll be 6 years. So we'll report back on season 9 of The Making of a Marketer.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's going to be quite the sight.
Yeah, that's kind of like in the horror movie world where we start getting weird. When we start getting like 9 and 10 sequels, like it's kind of like The Making of a Marketer in space, or The Making of a Marketer in 3D or something like that.
Andy, by that time, the robots, the AI, our AI equivalents could be doing the show for us in
we
space.
Just write up the script and let them talk.
Yeah. Take our single images,
probably like 50
create
languages.
The video.
Yeah. Well, that's all we had for today. A little Halloween, a little astronomer banter, kind of went around the board of marketing. So we'll have some guest episodes up soon. And as always, let us know about book club, movie club, things we should watch on these topics. We'll do some episodes on that as well. But, we are off and rolling into the depths of end of July, starting up August. And then before we know it, we'll be doing our holiday episodes for real this time as we start to plan for the marketing tides as they start to change. But until then, thank you, everyone, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye, everyone.